The Goose is Loose Monday! This is breaking news from the Let's Go Devils podcast newsroom. Nikita Gusev is now a New Jersey Devil for at least 2 years. What happened? Shorts guy.
Sammy,
how come this always happens to us? You're doing some experimental thing on T-shirts. I packed up all my equipment, and suddenly I get the notification that Nikita Gusev from the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
I almost said Nashville Predators for whatever reason.
Yeah,
but,
I know. Hey, you know what? You screw up at least once a podcast. So there was your time.
Oh, I know. But yeah, so breaking news: Gusev traded to the Devils. Fans are going crazy. At first I thought it may have been an unfounded rumor that was going around. I mean, some of these rumor mills, Twitter accounts and websites. I'm kind of like, all right. At least I did send you a text, Shorts. Hey, we maybe need to prepare for this one. And then, of course, just when I was just about to leave for my trip, bam, we had to drop everything. And then I like to thank the fans that actually PM'd us or even tweeted us, oh, where's the podcast? Well,
we were working on it.
Yeah, we were working on it. Just because we can't set up within instantly within 2 minutes. Instead, we got it up in about 42 minutes. We got the podcast up. We're here live at the Bunker Studios somewhere in beautiful New Jersey. Shorts Guy and I just basically dropped everything for the breaking news that Gusev is traded to the Devils. Now, this is the breaking news podcast. We will have expert analysis tonight. We're going to have a special edition of the State of the Fan address powered by Fansided by the Pucks and Pitchforks editor-in-chief Nick Villano and I. Shorts Guy, you may join in. I'm not sure. We haven't figured out the scheduling. But we will have expert analysis at 9 p.m. Eastern on the biggest day news in hockey right now. Gusev traded the Devils. Now, he also signed a 2-year deal, $4.5 million per. I think that's what I read on the Devils Twitter feed. That is significant because we were talking about that, and this was the debate of the State of the Fan address with Nick and I that, I wanted more beef. I was like, why are you going to trade for Goose? But the Goose is loose, and now that it's happened, and Joshua Harris, the Devils' managing partner, we can't call him an owner now, but he's the Devils' managing partner, said that Ray Shero is not done. So they probably knew what was going on. And Shorts Guy, I hate to put you on the spot since, we don't have our computers running in front of us, but they didn't give up a first rounder, did they?
No,
what did they give up?
They gave up the second round pick in 2020. Third round pick in 2020 and second round in 2021. So that's not too bad. For the rights to be able to talk to this guy and sign him. It almost sounds like, I know this deal has been rumored for a while. It almost seems like they were waiting to kind of get all the contract details in place for them to have an automatically signed contract. It's not like they just traded for rights and hope to sign him soon. It seemed like they were working on contract and numbers, and then they finalized the trade today. So it seems like, I know this has been rumored for a while. I believe Nick has spoken about this for quite some time that he thought this was a possibility. And this rumor was out there, and it seems like today was the day that they were able to, finalize the details, pull the trigger, however you want to call it, and to announce it to us, to the fans. And this is a pretty solid deal. 2 years, it averages out to 4.5. I believe he gets $5 million this year. Yes, he does. He gets $5 million this year, $4 million next year. And he really hasn't played very much in the NHL. He was basically was here for the playoffs but didn't get any games, so he's been ripping up the KHL last couple of years. So now he's going to get a spot with with the NHL team in the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, well, Shorts, I got your message. I just want to ask everybody in the Facebook Live to help us out. We didn't really do a sound test. We just dropped everything and left. But
you are
how
better
is my
now,
audio? Sam. Am I better now?
You've come back. Yeah, you've come
I've
back.
come back.
Whatever you did.
You know what? I'm using a new headset. I haven't tested this
And
headset yet, but that was the only thing I could find when we're scrambling. But because I'm so excited and I'm talking really loud and my wife's not here, I'm going to shout all night long. The Devils got the goose. We got the goose. It's goose season. And you know what the goose is going to do, Devils fans? And I'm talking to you, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter and Periscope. There's going to be goose dung all over Madison Square Garden when he scores a hat trick. And we are beating the Rangers. I am now joined the goose wagon. Before, I wanted more beef. I'll play that soundbite. But you know what? It's, hey, where's the goose? Yeah, I didn't prepare any content for this surprise breaking news podcast. I'm really stretching it right now.
I can tell you, Wolverine's no content. You're going all over the place.
I know. Wolverine's mom in the Facebook Live says, sounds great. That's all I need to hear from you, Mrs. Wolverine.
Hey, Mom.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Mom. Just make sure that somebody doesn't take the skinny jeans away from you in the excitement of Gusev is finally a Devils. Now, just to reiterate, we are going to have expert analysis from Nick Villano. Right now, he's on air somewhere else at 4 p.m. Eastern, so we can't get Nick on. So I pulled Shorts Guy from his sweatshop where he's making beautiful Let's Go Devils podcast T-shirts right now, and we got some new designs in the works. That's the plug right now. But Gusev is the Devils, and we want to hear from you, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube Live, Twitch, and also we're streaming on letsgodevils.com on all of the platforms right now. What do you think about this move? Now this changes the dynamics. I've seen it in the Facebook groups, all the different line combination. Now you've got Nikita Gusev. Is he a top 6 forward? Where does he fit? Does he go on a line with Jack Hughes, or does he go on a line with Nico Hischier, or do you put him on the third line? I don't know. We don't know too much about this kid other than he ripped it up in the KHL. He seems to be a good player. He signed a 2-year, $4.5 million per year. He will be paying New Jersey state taxes. He will be paying federal taxes, but he is in New Jersey. And look, everyone's talking about the renewed rivalry between the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers. I feel like this is a Cold War happening. I feel there's an arms race. And when I heard Joshua Harris, the Devils managing partner, say, hey, Ray's not done. Ooh, let the rumors start. Are they really in for Gusev? I wasn't sure. But then the unfounded, some of these rumors, and then people start posting on Facebook Live, and Shorts Guy and I, we sent a group text out. Hey, anybody available? This may happen. Boom, we're here live. Let's Go Devils podcast. Oh, yeah. Breaking news. Gusev traded to the Devils, then signs 2-year deal. Hey, you know what? Ray Shero got it done. He got his guy, and he didn't have to pay too much for it. Now, granted, you want to keep these draft picks, but you know what? I think the consensus from all these Devils fans when we were doing the State of the Fan Address podcast here on the Let's Go Devils podcast platform with Nick Villano with Pucks and Pitchforks, the consensus is, hey, it's low risk. What do you have to lose? If you're not going to give up a first rounder and you give up some picks, I mean, he is a valuable player. He seems to be very talented. Jeremy Miller now writes in the Facebook Live, now Brack can go third line, Wood go forward where they belong. Hey, you know what? I'm not so sure if that's where they belong, but you know what? You make a great point, Jeremy. The Devils right now at the forward positions, they're pretty stacked right now. They're pretty stacked right now. I mean, on
Yeah,
paper right now, they look like a fast, skilled team with a little bit of beef of Wayne Simmons coming to New Jersey. And that blue line, having PK Subban back there, you got three right-handed defensemen that can absolutely play and move the puck and can be offensive. And the remaining three lefty defensemen on these pairings are pretty good. And I like to see, what Will Butcher's going to sign. I don't know if he's going to arbitration yet or they're going to get a deal done before. I haven't kept track, but it should be all interesting how this all comes about. Everybody's falling into the Facebook group right now, and in big numbers, Shorts Guy. We're getting some pretty good traffic in the middle of the day, guys. See,
we're
just like
I wouldn't call it middle of the day.
Like, well, let me tell you, just like you guys,
everyone's retiring for the day. they're just happy to fill out the last hour of work. So
yeah. Well, let me tell you something. We just literally dropped everything to do this podcast. I was just about to head out the door on my trip. All my equipment packed up. And then Shorts Guy had a little bit of a 5-minute meltdown. Shorts Guy calmed me down. He's like, "Don't worry, you'll get the podcast up. You don't have to throw the keyboard. The delete button didn't work. I mean, this is a true story. We don't make up stuff here on the Let's Go Devils podcast. That's exactly what happened. But we're very, very thankful for everybody joining in right now. Look, you want expert analysis, you'll get some here, but we're going to tease the 9 p.m. special edition of the State of the Fan address with Nick Villano, Pucks and Pitchforks blog. We'll give you his inside stuff. He's dropping everything, but right now he's on air somewhere doing something else on TV. Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, he's dropped all that he can for tonight, but he can't drop all of his stuff now. In fact, I really hope I turned mine off down like I needed to, but I'll find out when I get back down there. I'll tell you what, kind of getting back to line combos and where he slots in. That's absolutely what September's for. When they go to training camp and they see how he fits in. He hasn't skated a game in the NHL yet. That doesn't mean he's not a good player. I'd say that you could definitely put him on second line. I could see them starting him on third line just to kind of get a feel for the NHL. But he's definitely second or third line material right there. And if he can keep up what he was doing in the KHL and scoring goals on the international level. I think Gusev is going to fit in just perfectly with us, which would be fantastic. But to go back to what you also said too, we have built so much depth at the forward line where we really didn't have that last year. We were seeing call-ups, that were kind of like scraping bottom of the barrel, and it almost looked like we were bringing, pretty much it was Binghamton versus whoever we were playing on that night. So to have to have this kind of depth at the forward level is fantastic.
Yeah, Ray Shero, he's spending some of that cap money. I kind of like having that cap room to kind of screw with other teams and to get great value. But I think that Ray Shero felt that there was some great value here, giving up as little as he did. I mean, I wouldn't say it was little, but he didn't have to give up any players or anything like that. He just basically got the deal done, took some of that, $4.5 million. It's not going to break the bank, this and that. And I think it was a smart move for New Jersey. Now, David Holliday says, Goose, we are going to hear a lot of that. I mean, the Devils social media team, you must have had a little clue about this, because how fast is that turnaround where they have this little, I think it was a GIF of it, they basically pasted his head on a flying goose like this. You know what? That's what I'm going to be starting to do, Shorts Guy. Look at how I'm going to be start flapping my wings at games.
Oh my gosh!
Scores. Yes, I mean there are so many things marketing wise. What's that?
Isn't that what Eagle fans do? down in Philly.
Well, they all. Well,
Uh,
also, except for the fact the Eagles fans, when they finally win something for the first time, they eat horse dung, and videotape it. I know,
yeah.
I know. Those are just jokes. Those are just jokes. That's just us trying to struggle for content and trying to keep this thing going and alive. The breaking news, but 9 p.m. Eastern. We're not fooling around. Nick Villano, Pucks and Pitchforks blog, State of the Fan address, will be on with us live. Short Scott, we don't know your schedule yet. We don't even know Beer Baron's schedule at all, but I will have to be there, and we'll try to, at the last second. Yeah, we're still putting it all together as we speak, as we're texting each other. We're asking some of the most basic questions, and like I said to you, we're making it up as we go along. Well, that's right.
And so kind of to backtrack to saying, as much as it's great to have that cap space to screw with other teams, we're also in a position where we're trying to show Taylor Hall that this is the place to stay and this is where he's going to win. So what good is it to sit on that money if you're not going to use it? And they have to use it. They have to show Taylor Hall it's worth staying here. So if we weren't in the situation of, having to convince Taylor Hall that this is the place to stay long term and you're going to win, if that wasn't sitting out there, then sit on that money and use it to screw other teams. But the Devils have to build, and when a deal like this comes, falls into your lap, you have to take it. Gusev is you have to take it. Gusev is the victim of cap space because Vegas has none, and they weren't able to sign him. So because they weren't able to sign him, we were able to kind of swoop in, send them 2 picks over the next 2 years, and use up just a little bit of cap space, and get more offensive threat, get another offensive threat, I should say, for our forward core. He's 27. He's still got plenty of time left. As long as I read that right, that he's 27. Plenty of time left in his career, about to hit the prime of his career, and we're getting him for a little bit of money now. And a 2-year deal, if he doesn't work out, 2 years, he's gone. I hope he works out, but you know what? It's not a bad deal. It's not a long term for now. And if he starts working out, you know what? Maybe you re-sign him for a longer term contract sooner than later.
Well, think of it this way, Shorts. At the very least, there were other teams vying for his services. You take him off the market and you put him in New Jersey, right? So there's a plus minus there. And you know what? I think this is a smart move. Now, I'll admit it. I'm not one of those freaking like Mike Francesa, hey, I said that beforehand, or, that kind of thing. Look, I admit it. I didn't want him at first. I wanted more beef. I thought, this team was great, but when it finally did happen, what's done is done. I think this is a smart move. I think he did not give up that much, and the risk is low, but there's a ton of upside here. Ton of upside with this deal. Yeah. So I think Ray Shero did a great job, and I'm reading your text. You said to check the quarters. That was
no. You're good.
I'm
you're
still
good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still
all
good.
right. Yeah, I shouldn't question Wolverine's mom when she says I'm good. I'm good. I don't need it. But again, we didn't do a sound test before the podcast, but I guess we sound pretty good. Everybody's following it. I mean, big trade today. It's given the NHL some content that there's something going on, and Ray Shero has not stopped since Jack Hughes was drafted. You remember that 4 podcast stretch that we had from the pre-draft to the post-draft to the breaking news of Subban, and then we had Matt Loughlin on our regular Sunday night time slot at 9 p.m. Eastern, which starts back September 15th for season 3. Had to get that plug in there.
Here we go. Always gotta get it in.
Yeah, always got it in. I mean, I appreciate you coming on, Shorts Guy, because
no
Let's Go Devils podcast is really supposed to be on hiatus for the next 6 weeks, so we could take a little bit of breather. But this was important news. This is absolutely important news. Hey, breaking news. And but we're so happy for all the Devils fans that are filing in. By the way, organist Pete Canarosi says you sound great, and he even put in caps.
Nice.
Great. Well, you know what, Pete? You sound great too, and the Let's Go Devils organ music was playing in the beginning. That's our stall tactic as we set up. Is we put up the graphic like we did here. I'll do it right now. We put up the graphic, and and then we, of course, we play Pete's organ music through that, and then that gives us time to set up, give some hand signals where nobody's looking, and get the podcast back up. And by the way, about the Let's Go Devils podcast, our numbers are up in the last month and a half. I mean, obviously with all the news and all that kind of good stuff going on, and we can't thank the listeners and the new listeners or viewers or let's just say our fans or Devils fans that tune in. We really appreciate you being part of our podcast and being part of the conversation, because our mission is to promote what's right about being a Devils fan. And guess what? We are the hottest, most exciting NHL team, at least in the news cycles in the last month and a half. I can't wait for this season to start. I can't wait for our podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern, our special edition of the State of the Fan Address, getting expert analysis from Nick Villano. I don't know who's going to call in yet. I've already got some ideas.
It'll be a surprise.
I think I want to text Cory Massack from The Athletic and ask him. Maybe we can ask him on air if he's watching right now. Will you come on to our podcast and give us some expert analysis? Because I'm out of content right now. All I know is I want to flap in the wind and be like the goose. As he scores. Can you imagine if he scores a goal and he's skating around with his arms up and he does this to the fans?
I hope without that noise, Sam. I hope without that noise.
Is that what a goose sounds like? I don't know. Maybe that was another bird. I don't know. But I'm going to ask you on social media, Facebook Live, Twitter, we were having microphone issues before. Does my sound pretty good? It does.
It's like you're out of content is what it sounds
Oh, wait. A goose sounds like this. Yeah, like the Aflac. Hey, you know what? Hugh Weber, I'm talking to you. Get Aflac as an insurance sponsor of Gusev. Aflac.
Now you're just giving free product placement to a company paying us anything.
I'm that happy right now. I'm that happy. I heard that some of the Devils employees do watch this podcast. I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, oh, really? Yeah, it is true. And we I decided to give you guys some free advice. Get Aflac on board. Anyway. Someone wrote, thanks for getting up the podcast quickly on Twitter, as I think it's at Landsman22. You're welcome. We try our best, and we appreciate you coming on. Eric Leopard, how much time you give Hall to re-sign? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
That is a good fan reaction question. We love your reactions and your comments and questions. Yeah, I mean, how much more can Ray Shero do other than get Connor McDavid at this point? I mean, he's done everything. He's done everything as a Devils fan, done everything that you want him to do. He brought some pizzazz on defense. He brought some beef, at the forward position, somebody that has a chip on his shoulder. Wayne Simmons wants to have something to prove at his age, 31. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's up to you, Taylor.
He brought in more scoring, so he's showing. All of these signs point to he's. Shero is making these moves to try to make sure that Hall. But I think at this point, there's got to be something that we don't know that's already that discussioning, and who knows? The next domino to drop could be the announcement of a Hall extension. All
Yep.
signs are pointing towards the Devils going in the right direction. But Hall may also want to see everything in action too. There's nothing that says he can't sign November, December. It's not like he's got to sign before September. So
I think isn't there a freeze at some point where is it February? I have to read up the rules. I'm going to ask you guys on Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube
for signing, well, unless it's something in conjunction with the trade deadline, but it's the Devils have made all positive moves, and different from last summer where we didn't make many moves. The Devils have made all positive moves, not just for the big club, but also, some depth moves from Binghamton too. So
absolutely.
I think all signs are pointing to the Devils are making moves to make Taylor Hall happy, and to, at this point, the ball's going to be in his court, but there's nothing that, we don't know if the, discussions are already in the move, and, he's close to resigning, and maybe he just wanted to see one or two more things, or Shiro. You also got to think too that Shiro is going to want to, he as much as he wants to, bring in new players, let's bring these pieces in and then work with Taylor and say, listen, this is what we've done. Here's what we have. Let's put something together. So it's, my guess is it's all coming just like it's, like Shiro is planning on, and Taylor's going to re-sign at some point. It's just a matter of when at this point.
You know what just happened to me, Shorts Guy, as you were talking to that? You ever get those annoying spam robocallers?
Oh, yeah. I got a couple today.
Yeah. I just got one, right? And I recognize the number. They always sell me solar energy or something like that. I was just tempted to pick up on live air and say, we don't need your solar energy. Our power play is going to look awesome with the goose on it. That's what I almost wanted to say. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, I finally got my Facebook Live feed on my computer right now. I want everybody to show us some love. Show us some love, because you know what? Right now, it is such a happy time to be a New Jersey Devils fan. I mean, the last, I don't know, 40 days has been Jack Hughes, PK Subban, Wayne Simmons, a couple things here and there, PK Subban press conference. And then I saw something on Pucks and Pitchforks, that, are we going to be like the real, those jerks, that whole thing with North Carolina.
I saw that
We're going to be hellraisers, baby. We're going to raise hell because the Devils are back. They're back. We're back.
You're excited, Sam. You are excited.
I got the swagger. I just want to make fun of Ranger fans all day long. And you know what? I want to point this out. The best picture I saw through that, Facebook app, that turns people to what they look like 50 years from now. And somebody put a picture of the Rangers Stanley Cup banners and what it will look like in 50 years.
Same thing. I saw that too. Yeah.
Same thing. I was laughing hysterically. I mean, come on. One cup in what, 80 years? How long has it been? Since 1940. My math is off. Let's ask Facebook Live. How long has it been since the Rangers?
It's been about 80 years. Yeah, it's been about 80 years.
And back then there were only 6 teams. You had 1 out of 6 chance to win it. You couldn't win then. You can't win now. In 94, they were really the
Nevermore.
Or the Oil
94
Hawks.
Nevermore.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in those days, we used to use a VCR. We used to use a VCR to record it. And back in those days, I used a CD player. Do you need a VCR to watch your Stanley Cup video, Ranger fans? Boy, I'm starting to sound like Brett Hull drunk right now because I'm so happy.
You kind of are. You really kind of are.
So breaking news: Gusev traded to the New Jersey Devils, then turns around and signs a 2-year deal. This is not a dumb move whatsoever. Ray gave him some loot, but he didn't give him that much loot. But you know what? Great question. What about Taylor Hall? Are you going to take your time with this, or do you want to come on for the ride where you got the goose?
The Hall will sign. Hall's going to sign. He. Not that I say that there's no possibility that he won't, but he's got to sign. All the pieces are in place. We're making moves.
You know what?
Pieces are in place.
I have an idea. It hasn't formed. Whoever line Goose is on, Gusev, should be the Top Gun line. There should be a Maverick, a Goose, and Viper, or Iceman, or whoever. The Top Gun line. I like it. Except for the ending there for Goose. That wasn't too good. But anyway, we won't talk about that. I saw the Top Gun reboot trailer, and I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be interesting. It's always a risk to do these reboots from the 80s, these classic movies. Like, please, just don't mutilate, like, the lasting memory of Top Gun, this and that. But apparently it's pretty good. Anyway.
It looked good. It looked really good.
Yeah.
I'll have to say. I saw it as well.
Looked great. Now, somebody did point it out. I forgot who did in the Facebook Live chat room, which, by the way, we are the most commented Devils podcast in the history of New Jersey Devils podcast. Thank you for commenting. But somebody commented a question mark at the goalie position. Now, Shorts guy, you are the goalie expert of the bunch. Mm-hmm. You played the position. You coach. You've played at a very, very high level. I think you and I played for maybe one scrimmage, professional minor league inline hockey at one point before my career was derailed. Anyway, enough about me. What are your thoughts on the goalie position, the question marks? And I have my opinions as well, but put you on the spot here. Is there really a question mark?
I think going into the season, your answer is your starter is Cory. I know a lot of Devils fans are a little apprehensive about hearing that, but I think Cory is your starter, and you got Blackwood behind him. Blackwood is capable. I don't know if we've seen enough of Blackwood to at least make that definitive decision that he's the next guy. All things are pointing in that direction. But I think your starter at the beginning of the season is Cory. Blackwood is your backup. And having Blackwood on Cory's heels will be good. I think Cory started to get everything back towards the end of the season. We may see a revitalized Cory, and that's the hope, that we get a revitalized Cory. But as far as what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking is Cory's your Schneider. Schneider is your starter to begin the season. If Blackwood takes it and Blackwood earns it, great. It's good for him. However, I'm going to throw this little caveat in there. It would not shock me to see Cory Schneider get traded on only one reason.
What's that?
The reason is I just purchased a Cory Schneider jersey. So I can see Schneider getting traded now that I have just purchased a Schneider jersey. So all of what I just said can go right out the window too because of that jersey purchase. However, until that happens, Schneider, I believe is your starter.
What I want to know is how much you paid for it.
Not a lot.
How much did you pay for that? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah. Well, actually, I found out the other day that I read it somewhere that Sears in Willowbrook Mall is going to be closing down. And there was one time when Sears was closing down, and I was able to score a Mark Messier jersey for like $15 or $20 back in the late 90s, I think, after he bolted to go to Vancouver. And what did we do to that jersey, Shorts guy? Did we burn it? Is that what happened? that Messier jersey?
Yes.
I think we burned
Yes.
it. Yeah, in the parking lot. I
Got
think
a
we have
picture of it.
pictures somewhere. Yeah, we got
Oh, I
pictures.
have the picture.
Yeah. So speaking of cheap jerseys, they do have. I know Sears. They do carry Devils memorabilia and Rangers. If they're going to have a 90% off or whatever, you may want to go there and check it out. I haven't, me personally. See if you could get maybe a Cory Schneider jersey for $20, like how I got that Messier jersey for $20 years ago. Eventually burnt it. To the ground.
That was the best $20 you've spent. That was the best $20 you spent.
Yeah, that wasn't wasting when you're burning it. You're just trying to make a statement that the Devils are here
totally
to stay. Oh, yeah.
It was totally a statement. And we made it.
Yeah.
That was a good time in the parking lot, too.
Oh, yeah. And then, I don't know, I still remember a pantyhose hanging from it, but I don't know what that was called.
Yeah, that I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll talk off air about
that
it.
I don't remember
how that got there. Yeah. So, but yeah, breaking news, Gusev traded to the Devils. Now, we are doing a live special at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're saving all of the analysis, intelligent talk to then. Right now, we just want to break the news. Actually, Nick is just smarter than us than a lot of things when it comes to Devils hockey. Yeah, this is just a banner. This is the celebration. We want to celebrate that goose. The goose is flying to New Jersey. Hey, can we have a press conference on the goose just like what we did with PK Subban? I would like to see the goose, wear that Ric Flair thing and be like, instead of woo, it'd be like, bark, bark.
You know what? I've got to say, speaking of all that PK Subban stuff, just because of the history of the Devils and the players they've signed in the past and this and that, it's still so strange yet really cool to see a Devils player in the media spotlight, not just like hockey media, but like pop media. You turn on the any of those shows after the news in the evening, like all the gossip shows and stuff like that. And if it's Lindsey Vonn, PK Subban is there. It's like, wow, there's one of our players in the spotlight. That's crazy. That big presser, that big presser is, we would now say is, out of character for the Devils, but that just seems to be like, that's the player that they brought in and that's what they're doing. It's, it's still odd to see this player in that type of spotlight, and I'm happy about it. We're becoming more and more relevant.
A little weird.
Great.
Yeah, it is a little weird because life under Lou. Look, Lou. I always described it like this. Lou was like Grandpa, and Grandpa owned the hardware store. And there's times where, hey, as a young lad, Grandpa, you don't have to do it this way. You should do it, a different way. But Grandpa is so stubborn. He says no. But you know what? We always loved Grandpa. But right now, Grandpa is on the New York Islanders right now. This is totally Ray Shuro's. This is Ray Shuro's team. And you know what? What Ray's doing on this full rebuild is he is telling the rest of the NHL. Now listen to me closely. He's telling the rest of the NHL, New Jersey is where you want to be. If you think about it, because you are, no matter what, you're in the tri-state New York City metropolitan area, but you could go to the Rangers, you could go to the Islanders, but New Jersey is where it's at. And I think having PK being treated the way he was treated, and he was talking about that in the press, how well they've treated him, that players will think twice if it was between another team and the New Jersey Devils. Because right now, the Devils, they've got that thing right now. They've got that little, they got that excitement. And that close to New York City without the New York City BS.
Oh yeah, no, totally agreed.
So there's something to be said about that. And, but again, there's only one thing left to do, guys. Just win, baby. Just win. I want to see winning. I want to see the Devils winning.
We're definitely winning the summer on paper, and that's something we want to see. By all means, we want to see us win the summer on paper, but they have to come out and they have to win right away in October and continue to win. Unlike last season where we decided to stop winning, they've got to win and win consistently.
I just got a text from Nick Villano. I just want to confirm it. I think we have a guest for tonight, for our podcast tonight. And as the text messages coming in, I got a text message from Jameson. He says, sign Gardner. He says, sign Gardner. You know what? That would be the cherry on the top if they sign Gardner right now. Jake Gardner, guess what, buddy? There's a lot of excitement going on in New Jersey. You may want to come over to the dark side. Those Leafs, they're just kind of like, we'll see you later, Jake. Come over. Mm-hmm. Come over to New Jersey. New Jersey has something for you. They've got a team that wants the cup. And it looked good on paper. I mean, that could happen. That could happen. I'm sure New Jersey's taxes are cheaper than, Canadian and Toronto. I know we had that talk with Mike Lucci at Pucks and Pitchforks about taxes. But right now, I don't think anybody's worried about taxes because right now the Devils are looking good. They're looking real good right now. Yeah.
Oh, they absolutely are.
So we got Jeremy Miller writes, they have the sizzle. That's the word I was looking for. They got the sizzle. That's right. Sizzle. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Just waiting for Nick Villano. Let's see. He is Pucks and Pitchforks. Okay. So Tyler Kelly will be a guest, an expert on all this, and Tyler Kelly will be on, and we'll still work on other guests as well. We'd like to thank everybody joining in our breaking news podcast. I love doing this, Shorts Guy. I love doing breaking news. It is a lot of fun. The fun part is not dropping everything and stopping your life for about 2 hours.
That's the stressful part.
I haven't even thought about what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, but I may have to I may have to go to the Chinese grocery store and get myself a duck or something. Because Goose is in town. We got the Goose. We got to have a press conference just like PK Subban. The Goose. But instead of having it indoors, we should have it outdoors. At that Mulberry Commons, whatever park. I forgot what they called it. Next to the water fountains that are spitting up.
Speaking of a press conference, I am very curious what Gusev's command of the English language is, and if they would be able to have a solid press conference with him.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Shorts Guy. I'll go, and I'll just go, Goose! And, he'd probably be like, in Russia, they called me the golden goose. I don't lay eggs. I just score goals.
Is there a reason why? Is there a reason why you made Gusev sound like Ivan Drago?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I did that. I could see Gusev on the face-off, right? I must break you. or when when Gusev gets in that rare fight, he'd be like, if he dies, he dies.
That's the line I was waiting for. That's the line I was waiting for.
Ah!
Oh well.
Yeah. Or when he gets his butt kicked in, Gusev would turn to Palmieri. He's like a piece of iron. That's like one of my favorite scenes of Rocky. You know, this and that. Pete, Organist Pete, you are not allowed to say those two words. It's Taylor Ham. It's always been Taylor Ham. We got to let the goose know it's always been called Taylor Ham. If you want a Devil's podcast that's pro pork roll, you go to the State of the Fan address, okay? That guy Nick Milano there calls it pork roll. That's what we do at our show meetings. We just bust his chops all day long because he's the only pork roll supporter of the podcast group. You know what? It doesn't matter whether it's Taylor Ham or pork roll for just today. We got the goose. He didn't go to the Rangers. He didn't go to the Flyers. He didn't go anywhere. Came to New Jersey. Great job, Ray Shiro. And for all those Devils employees tuned into this podcast, just tell Ray we approve. This is a good trade.
Absolutely.
He didn't give up much. All right, $4.5 million is coming out of ownership's pocket per year. 2 years, not too risky. Still a lot of money. But you know what? The guy's got a huge upside. Low risk. We didn't lose much. We didn't lose a young talent other than a potential draftee that could amount to something. Max Adler, Shiro's the man. Matt, Taylor Ham. Pete conceded. Okay, Taylor Ham. Thank you, Pete. Now you're back into the circle of trust. Hello, playoffs, Jason Morgan says. Hello, playoffs. You know what? I don't know if that's too soon, but you know what? Hey, for one day, we can all be excited.
I don't think it's too soon for playoffs. I think we have a great shot at getting to the playoffs this year. We are not going to have a season like last year. I think playoffs are a possibility, and I'll be there for that first home game in the playoffs. I will be there.
You know what? I got to find a goose costume if this guy turns out to be the real deal.
I'm sure you can find one.
I got to find. I want to get a goose. I want to dress up like a goose. Go in. I wonder what number he's going to have. He should have 0. Just 0, like an egg. 0.
Oh.
Just like that would be awesome.
I don't know if the NHL would allow that. I don't know if the NHL would allow that. That's something we'd have to look into.
Yeah.
At least they're not allowing triple numbers like some soccer leagues.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. No need for that.
Nope.
But we will be back 9 p.m. Eastern. State of Fan address with Nick Villano and Tyler Kelly on. We are going to drop this recording, this podcast by 5 p.m. just right before your afternoon drive. Again, we discourage everyone to watch and drive the podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all other distribution outlets. But also, we got to get back to our daily lives because I know my wife's going to be like, hey, where's dinner? Well, I don't know. I was talking about Goose the entire time. I almost forgot. You know.
And you know what? Sam? I hope our listeners have set all of their notifications for when the Let's Go Devils podcast goes live, because that's how you never miss these random podcasts, breaking news. Set notifications on all your platforms to notify you when we go live.
Especially on YouTube Live, because YouTube Live, I'll tell you what, that place is starting to hum. The same with Twitter, Periscope. Facebook Live's always been our bread and butter, but we're spreading all over the place. We're spreading it all over the place, right? The reason why is every Devils fan, the one thing about Devils fans is everyone's got their own routine. Some people like Facebook, some people like Instagram, some people like some people don't like me, like Felony Strutter, that always busts my chops. He basically called me a liar the other day, on the YouTube live chat room. The guy's like, oh, I should do a podcast myself because I can do a better job about Devils hockey, especially before 2000, because you guys don't know anything about it. Well, you know what, Felony? Keep on commenting because I like to hear your podcast too. Be a troll. But anyway, enough about me and this guy, Felony Strutter from YouTube Live. But you know what? We're actually glad that, in all honesty, we're glad that you listened and watched the podcast. So anyway, cue up the music. Actually, somebody has to hit the play button first, right?
Well, while you're queuing up music, Sam, I know you alluded to it. Everyone needs to look out for later this week. We're going to have a contest for a new T-shirt design.
Oh, I forgot about that. Great point.
We announced Wednesday. The contest will be announced Wednesday, but there's the possibility of a new T-shirt design coming out soon.
Let me tell you something. I'll let the cat out of the bag about this new T-shirt design. It's freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome.
Pure
I showed about
pure
10
jersey.
people. I showed about 10 people, and let me tell you something. Every single one of them loved it. They were like, how do I get one? I want to buy it now. And I was like, well, you'll be able to buy, but first we got to run this contest to see who gets the first printed version of this new T-shirt, right?
Yep, it'll be the first one printed.
But don't worry, even though you don't win, you will still be eligible to buy because we're raising money for this $35 million jet that we want to fly our fans to Devils road games to watch our Devils. And this T-shirt will be on sale, and portions of the proceeds will be going towards that plane. Here, let me just put it up again.
There it is again.
On all of our video feeds. You can't see this on the podcast, but those that are listening on a podcast, you can go to our social media pages to see that plane. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. But yeah, so Hughes, Goose, and Brat, Bale, and Waterhouse saying, let me tell you, that Goose line, I'm anointing. I'm going to call them the Top Gun line because that's what they're going to be. Top Gun. And I can see it right now. Devils Rangers in the playoffs, Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. And Gusev scores the game-winning goal, and he does his little goose flap, and he's like, yeah, gestures dead. And the Devils make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, baby. This is what I'm talking about. I'm all fired up right now. Are you all fired up, Devils fans? Let us know. Facebook, Periscope, Twitter. I sound like a pissed off Mike Francesa right now. I never said that. I never said that. Gusev is going to score the game-winning goal. And the Top Gun line is going to take the team to the Stanley Cup Finals. And Taylor Hall, you better resign if you want to be on this plane. Woo! Everybody, give me a big woo!
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 Or better yet, Goose! Goose! Wow,
Sam, you've lost your mind.
I've lost my mind. I don't have the dumb neighbor downstairs that needed to go to work because I can scream and show my happiness that the breaking news, Gusev traded to the New Jersey Devils. But we will be back 9 p.m. Eastern for a wonderful State of the Fan address. To all you Ranger fans that tuned in, I got this to say to you. Rangers suck! And I meant it. I meant it. And you know what? We're still looking for it. I still want some beef.
Where's the beef?
You're still looking for it.
But Gusev is there. So you know what? I'm satisfied. And I'm going to cue up our outro music. But we will be back 9 p.m. Eastern. What is it, Pacific? 6 p.m.? Who cares? They'll figure it out. 6
Yep,
p.m.
6
Pacific.
Pacific.
Yeah.
6 Pacific.
Live on all of our social media platforms. Let's go Devils.com, Facebook Live, Twitter Periscope, at Let's Go Devils Pod. The rest is Let's Go Devils Podcast. And our YouTube channel. Just look up Let's Go Devils. All right. We're going to be filing out. We love you guys. We love
Tune
you,
in
Jeremy
tonight.
Miller, Ramona Rice, Nicholas, Jeffrey. Everyone's doing the woo! We got the Goose in New Jersey. The Top Gun line is going to form. And Jester's dead. Till next time, find us at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Let's go Devils!